It's Monday. What do we know? Well, I know that it was a fun weekend. Let's talk about some things. Let's talk about Maker Faire update. Will Lucky become lucky and save us? What do I even mean by that? Oculus may be coming in to save the day. Over the weekend, I think I broke both my legs and possibly my arms and my chest. I'm in so much pain. I'll explain why. We went for a drive on the desk as well, the motorized desk. And what the hell is going on with Bitcoin? All that and more. Robot Time Machine. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this is episode 2. Episode 1 was going to happen this week, but episode 1 came about last week because, we had to talk about Maker Faire. And what are the updates with Maker Faire? Well, there's a couple of updates. As you know, or if you don't know, actually, last week it was announced that Maker Faire or Make Media is shutting down. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean for everybody? We went through episode 1 talking about some of the articles that were out there and potentially what can happen. Speaking to a lot of friends over the weekend, I think one thing that's come through, which is really quite interesting, is that the maker community is, it's not in direct opposition, but it doesn't entirely resonate with the venture capital model. And what I mean by that is a lot of the time when people make things, they're making it for the love of making it. It's because someone goes, you know what? I think this should exist, therefore I'm going to make it. So that's often how things come about. The VC model is profit at all cost. You just got to drive. Blitz scale, kill the game, kill opposition. And it's not part of the maker community. So, some things that occurred over the weekend that'll give us hope. Lucky Palmer. Lucky Palmer is the creator of Oculus. An incredible individual. Has had quite the roller coaster of a career. But Lucky came out and he made the statement, "This is nuts." At Dale PD, which is Dale. "This is nuts. Dale, some friends and I would love to help save Maker Media. I love Maker Faire and have been a Make reader since literally the first issue." This is spectacular to see from Lucky Palmer. What can be done here? Well, hopefully, hopefully Lucky comes along and saves the day. I'm not too sure what he actually is, what his plan is. But if he's coming along and he's going to help out, then we'll take anything we can. We'll take any help we can because, this is so important. So Lucky Palmer, obviously, he comes from this space. If you think back to the Kickstarter campaign when they first came out with the Oculus, Lucky's Kickstarter campaign kind of even references the maker community. It's one of the most interesting, it's really one of the most interesting Kickstarter videos I'd ever seen. It was back in 2012. I think it really actually set the stage for the future of Kickstarter videos. The way that Lucky introduced Oculus to society was incredibly interesting. The VFX that they used inside there were really on point to explain low latency and how when you move your head, that Oculus wouldn't have lag issues. But one of the most powerful things was going around and interviewing a lot of the other heavy hitters in the gaming industry and getting them to say firsthand how incredible this was. It was a powerful video, and I'm gonna actually, let's take a look at it. I've got it queued up a bit. We're gonna have a look. It was back, I'm pretty sure it was back around 2012, somewhere around there. This is Lucky Palmer, who potentially is going to save Maker Faire. So if you're just tuning in wondering what's happening, Lucky Palmer has come out saying that he wants to help in some way, whatever way he can. He wants to give help. If you're wondering who Lucky Palmer is, he's the founder of Oculus. He came out with this tweet. Some friends and I would love to help save Maker Media, and I love Maker Faire and have been a Maker reader since literally the first issue. So let's go back and have a look at the Kickstarter video that Lucky created, which was the absolute genesis of Oculus. Now think back to 2012 as well. VR was just a distant dream. We had had all through the 2000s, we had had the promise of, remember Lawnmower Man? We had the promise of Lawnmower Man. It was all going to be real, but it was janky. The optics weren't correct. The latency was bad. It was almost like vector lines, is what we were saying. Then Oculus came along. This was the video that Oculus dropped, blowing minds back in 2012.
My name is Palmer Lucky, and I'm a virtual reality enthusiast and the designer of the Rift. Games are something I'm really passionate about, and even more than playing games, I'm passionate about bringing games to the next level. What we're doing at Oculus is trying to create the world's best virtual reality headset designed very specifically for gaming. Where this all started was in my parents' garage in Long Beach, California, and I was interested in stereoscopic displays, I was interested in head mounts, and the problem was there was nothing that gave me the experience that I wanted, the Matrix, where I can plug in and actually be in the game. And I was sure that...
Did you hear there as well? He started in his garage. How Maker is that? Oculus started in his garage. Let's keep listening.
Somewhere out there was something that I could buy, and the reality is there's nothing. I set out to change that with the Oculus Rift. The magic that sets the Rift apart is immersive stereoscopic 3D rendering, a massive field of view, and ultra-low latency head tracking.
How sick is that? That description of how Oculus versus others work is so on point as a visual.
John Carmack is one of the best developers in the world. Doom, Quake, Commander Keen. Carmack saw some of my work. That's originally when he reached out to me.
For a certain segment of the population, the hacker-maker crowd, this is going to be awesomely...
There it is, the hacker-maker crowd, referenced in this video as well. I'd forgotten about that.
What I've got now is, I honestly think the best VR demo probably the world's ever seen. We're certainly going to take this into our future projects, so...
We're getting involved in Oculus now because we see an incredible opportunity here for game developers to experience something new.
The Rift is taking years of virtual reality research and putting it into a package that everyone can use.
So I recently had a chance in person to check out the Oculus headset, and needless to say, I'm a believer. Even as a prototype, what I saw was extremely promising. We're extremely excited here at Epic Games to get the Unreal Engine integrated with Oculus, and I think the possibilities for the games are extremely exciting.
Think about that as well. This was prototyping. This is all about starting, building something from nothing, then taking it out. Palmer took this out. I think I was calling him Lucky Palmer before. Palmer Lucky was starting. It sounds like Lucky Charms or something, the way I was saying it. Palmer Lucky created the prototype, went out, showed people, filmed this. This video is just incredible for 2012.
I'm thrilled for the whole project.
Well, I gotta say, I just tried the Oculus prototype, and it was such an immersive, amazing experience.
David, we need to pause here. The way the shirt wearing is going on in this clip is spectacular. Look at that. Oh, that is wildly good. Many people would look at that and be like, yeah, a little crazy, a little crazy. No, that is wild. That takes, David, I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan.
That we pretty quickly, like within an hour, decided to get behind this project.
I got to meet Palmer Lucky and try out the Oculus Rift.
Michael.
And I have to say it was a very exciting moment. Could be the beginning of a whole new industry that leads us eventually to having true augmentation all the time, every place. And I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to program with it and to see what we can do.
It looks incredibly exciting.
Yay!
If anybody's going to tackle these set of hard problems,
All
we think
hail!
Palmer's going to do it. So we'd strongly encourage you to support this Kickstarter.
All hail Gabe. Absolute legend.
In the past, I've looked at these VR headsets and head-mounted displays, and this is the first one that I've seen that I was truly impressed with.
There's a lot of great head-mounted displays out there, but they're all really, really expensive, up to over $100,000. What the Rift does is it makes a high-end virtual reality experience available to the average gamer. So most consumer head-mounted displays have a diagonal field of view of about 30 or 40 degrees. You see a really small image way off in the distance, and it doesn't make you feel like you're there. With the Oculus Rift, you get a diagonal field of view of 110 degrees. That means you're not looking at a screen anymore. You actually feel like you're inside of...
Again, 2012. 2012, VR was dead at that stage. A few had come out and spoken about it. But he's bringing it back. And I mean, the descriptions, having like Gabe come on a video, this is such a powerful video.
You don't see the screen when you put it on your eyes, and that just changes the whole ballgame.
One of the biggest problems with virtual reality up to this point is latency. The benefit of the Rift is that it's designed to be really, really low latency. So rather than looking like this and you turn your head and then it follows, it actually follows with your view no matter what you do.
There are two reasons why this is possible now with Oculus, is that the displays are very high density and very lightweight and are very small, and the sensors that sense your head position and your turning in your virtual environment are also very low cost.
The reason we're using Kickstarter is so that we can get these dev kits into the hands of developers as fast as possible. That way they can try it for themselves and start integrating support into their games and engines.
Yeah.
We really need developer feedback so that we can make the consumer version of this even more incredible than it already is.
Huge. I mean, it was... look, a lot of people aren't happy with Oculus at the moment. However, back in the day, it was incredible.
I mean, Greatest Decay is simply about a great developer experience where they get a really functional piece of software which is efficient and scales with their needs.
So for indie developers, doing this Kickstarter, really getting it out there early, not waiting until we have a consumer version, allows them to get started as well.
If you want to be one of the first to try the Rift, grab a dev kit. We'll provide access to our SDK, Unreal and Unity engine integrations, and a copy of Doom 3 BFG Edition, the first Oculus-ready game. So join the revolution, make a pledge, and help us change gaming forever.
Bang! That's how you make a Kickstarter video back in 2012. That was spectacular, considering 2012, that level quality. So anyway, the reason that we were watching that was Palmer coming out saying that he wants to help. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We start with Palmer Luckey. We got a couple of like Indiegogo campaigns out there. Few out there trying to raise $100,000. I saw a few of them have already gotten to a few $1,000s. We're just going to keep getting better, and we'll keep getting larger amounts of money, and it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay because Salesforce is going to come along and save the day, aren't you? And Google. Oh, and Autodesk is going to come back as a sponsor. Same with Intel, same with Microsoft. And you're going to come back and be part of it. And it's all going to be okay. But what else? What else has been happening this week? Well, I can't feel my legs. Do you know why? I went dancing on the weekend. I went and had a boogie. I went and had so much of a boogie that I literally, like yesterday, my legs weren't too bad. But today they are killing me. And the reason I'm doing it is I have to, I'm getting married in August and I want to be in better shape than I am at the moment. And so I've been running and so on, but running just doesn't, I guess it's going to make me fit, but it's not, I'm not a fan of running. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. I'm not a big fan of running. So I thought I'd get back out and going to have a boogie. This is who I went and saw on Saturday night at Catch One. Yes, he killed. Absolutely slaughtered it. Just say yes. Huge fan. I mean, this is someone who I don't understand why he's not bigger. He could sort of, I feel like, and I could have my times wrong here, but I feel like he popped up around the same time as Joyride and is spinning bass house tracks in the same way and producing his own. Ill Behavior? What year did Ill Behavior come out, actually? Ill Behavior. I'm going to try and say, I don't know whether I'll get the exact number, but let's see. Ill behavior. I reckon it was maybe 2016, somewhere around there. There's no Wikipedia for it. See, there's just not enough information. 2015 was when it was thrown up on YouTube. You may know this tune. Yeah. Yes. So that was around 2015, and he came out with that. I reckon, yeah, same time around Joyride. It was a spectacular time. We were at Catch 1. I'd been there a few times before. Actually, I think I'd only been there once before. Yeah, I think I've only been once. Crazy place. Like 3 separate events being held at once. Put on by Alien Night. Was really, really, really good fun. I'm pretty sure by the time I left, I had emptied all of the liquid inside. I'd sweated everything out. I had no more. Thank goodness they had a free water machine at the bar so that I reckon I had about 50 cups of water. There was so much dancing. We had to re-concrete the floor after I walked out. Then they said, Gray, you got to come back and you've got to take this bucket and fix the hole that you've burnt into the floor. And I said, I will not do it. And they said, well, you can't come here and cut shapes anymore. And I said, okay, then I'll do it. So I went in, I took the concrete, I put the concrete on the floor. It took me till 5 a.m., but I fixed the floor and it was all good. It was great fun. I don't know why. I'm just a huge fan of like squiggles and beeps. I think it probably comes about from, just listening to... I really put this down. I think I actually put down a fan of electronic music to all the video games that I used to play as a kid. I reckon they had a lot to do with it. It was, the soundtrack from Legend of Zelda is probably going to be stuck in my head forever. The da da na 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 da na da na 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 da na da na 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 na. It's spectacular. It's just wonderful. These things, all of the beeps and squiggles. So yeah, huge fan of it. It was great fun. If you haven't heard of Just Say Yes, here he is. You've got to go check him out. You must go check him out. He's a wonderful human. It's, I don't know, all those sounds I am a big fan of.
Like seams in the concrete.
You're damn right. It's like seams in the concrete, isn't it? What film was that from, actually? Let's play this game. Instantaneous. What film was that from?
Like seams in the concrete.
Oh! Don't look. Listen. Ding! Janek's little black box is on his desk in between the jar, in between the pencil jar and... whatever the other thing was. It was an answering machine. Sneakers. Such a good film. So, yeah. So, weekend was good fun. We did that. Took the desk out as well, actually. Went out on the motorized desk. Let's see. I'll show you what that looked like. The desk is way too much fun. It is the funnest thing in the entire world. Let's see this. Okay, so I'm skipping through here for the podcast listeners. You can check out this all the videos on YouTube. Search for Robot Time Machine. The desk. Why did I build this desk? So years ago when we were making the Tomorrow Show, one of the things that used to happen was always had these moments where people would come into town and I wanted to do an interview with them, but they weren't there at the same day as we were filming. And so came up with this concept. I think it initially started with Will, a buddy of mine, Will, having a chat with him on the phone. And from memory, it was something about talking how wanted to go down 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica with a talk show desk and just interview people and just, people walking along the street, just throw interview questions at them and basically hold a live interview show on 3rd Street Promenade. But then the premise of how do you get the desk there became really complicated. And so over probably a couple of weeks, what started as a joke turned real. Like Will is absolutely a genesis point for this. He was calling up people in the on Craigslist. I was about to say in the classifieds. How Australian's that? It was in Craigslist, calling up, finding wheelchairs. And so we ended up getting a wheelchair. A really, really awesome person out in Pasadena helped us out and gave us a free wheelchair. And that's the base of the motorized desk. And then over the next few months, used a parking garage that Will had, and would just go to Home Depot, buy parts, and then start building the desk. So the desk is actually made from, it's sitting here in front of me. It's made from like plywood with really interesting reinforcement areas where I tried to presume where structural integrity needed to be reinforced. And like there's no official factor of safety implemented into it. However, just went through and was like, look, I think this is a structural point where if it breaks, it's probably going to break here, and so would reinforce it. One of the really interesting parts is the 2 front wheels of the motorized desk are actually mounted on these poles in such way that when I drive into like a curb, which has happened way too many times than I should have, instead of the entire frame being pulled back and ripping apart when the wheels hit the curb, because the desk is still moving forward, the wheels actually disconnect from these sort of 2 or 3 plastic holders, and the shafts that hold the wheels, they dislocate. So rather than the desk actually shattering apart, the wheels just come off. And then I have like an emergency repair kit in the back where you sit on the back of the motorized desk, and it's inside there that we have like extra bolts, extra connections, extra screws. And the craziest one actually was Kyle and I were driving. We were driving to a place I used to work to pick up a package, and I'd driven maybe 2 miles to get there, like at least 2.5 miles. And we're about 300 feet away, and I ran into a curb. We smashed it, had to go get the van, come back. We repaired the desk, and it was all good. But taking out the desk on weekends is so much fun. The awesome places that we've gone, I think one of the best was Wendy's. Driving through Wendy's, the loop sensor. So the way that a drive-through at your local fast food establishment, the way that it works is there's the most common sensor that they use is called a loop sensor, and it's kind of a sensor that detects induction. So it detects large metal objects, which is why like a motorbike can set it off, a car can set it off. It's the same type of sensors that you see at traffic lights. So those often in a loop, either a circle or a square of some sort, or a square with like buffered edges. There's a coil wrapped around there, and it senses. It often just senses a delta in induction. So a car driving across, we're like, oh, there's something here. A lot of people think it's weight. It's usually not weight, because a weight sensor like that, A, would be way too expensive compared to a copper coil, and B, is just ultra complex, because if you had a weight sensor trying to accurately measure a truck versus, I suppose actually, as long as you just set it to detect like a motorbike or anything above, but it's not that. Oh, thinking of it, here's how to get around a parking ticket. If you ever get trapped in a parking structure and there's a boom gate and you can't get out, here's a way to do it. You get like a metal sign say like an A-frame or just some sort of metal sign, whether it's a sign saying park here or something, as long as it's a large amount of metal. Sometimes a fire extinguisher will do it. If you place that at the boom gate on the way in, it'll reissue a ticket. You can then walk through, it'll think that you've passed, and then you have a new ticket. Now you can get out of the parking structure. So that's a way to get around it. But ultimately, look, the desk is one of the funnest things I've ever built. It's great fun. We took it out. We went a couple of streets away, filming some videos for our wedding, doing some promo, some promo shots, I suppose you'd call it. Doing promo reels for our wedding. So that was great fun. That was on Sunday. We nearly ran out of power, actually. The battery, it uses a 2 sealed lead acid batteries, the same type of batteries that you find in a car. And those batteries don't hold power all that much. You need to keep them topped up. They don't like discharging on their own. And I'd forgotten for a few weeks to recharge it. And so we went out. It indicated on the way out that it was full strength. Got a couple of streets away and I noticed and I was like, oh no, this is down to like 70% already. By the time we got where we wanted to film, it was now flashing 20%. On the way back, it was flashing under 10%. Now, we have broken down before. We've broken down on the desk before, needed to call AAA. Luckily, AAA never came along, and that's not a thing. They will not come and fix a motorized desk. But what actually happened was we were out. We were taking the desk around a Christmas area, like the Christmas lights that people put out in the street. It was one of those. I think it's called Christmas Lane or Candy Lane in El Segundo in LA. So we were taking it there, driving around, having a blast, playing tunes, just good times all round. And then went to drive back to the van, going up a hill in an alley. The desk died. It just stopped. It couldn't take Kyle and I up the hill anymore. And some people saw us stuck in an alleyway and came out and pushed us up the hill. Oh my goodness. One day I hope to hear the way that they tell that story, because to them it would just be that they saw a desk coming down the alleyway and then the desk stopped and then they asked the weird people on the desk if they needed a push and those people said yes and then they pushed them. So we got it to the van, got it home, got it charged. It was good. It was good in the end. The desk has been everywhere. It's been so many places. It's been to the desert. It's been to Las Vegas, and I can't remember what we did with it in Las Vegas. I don't know. What did we do with the desk in Vegas? I'm not sure. Somewhere. I'll have to try and remember where. So, being episode 2, I'm trying everything out. I'm trying all different types of things. I'm trying new titles, new streaming. We're going live out to YouTube at the moment. And if anyone's interested on the technical aspects of how this actually works, streaming to 2 different locations at once, we're taking the stream keys and the secret token, setting a stream rate, and then piping it out. So I'm setting at the moment we're going out 1080p, 6 megabits per second, 128 kilobits per second audio. That's going out to YouTube. And then Facebook doesn't do 1080p. It only does 720p. So we're going out 720p, 3.5 Mbps, and 128 kilobits per second. I also record this as a WAV file because I'm podcasting this as well. So it's cool. It's going to evolve. This show's going to evolve every episode. Every episode, I'm going to try something new. And the reason that I say that is I'm not even sure how the titles should be placed. Like, should we have them there? Should we have them in the bottom corner? Should they top left, bottom left? I don't know. I'm or just all over the screen. I don't know. And then also, do I use this as the logo? Or do I use that as the logo? As you can... So the folks who are podcasting this, I've just realized, check out YouTube. We've got the logo that you see in the artwork for the iTunes. It's probably going to evolve over time. It's great. So that neon effect I found on Photoshop. Really, really, really fun stuff. Really fun stuff. So this show is going to evolve over time. We're going to add more elements, work out what segments can I repeat and actually do over and over. And the main thing is which ones don't take too much time. The intention is to... Let's bring back... There we go. The intention is to make this either Tuesdays or Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we'll do it. The audio is an interesting one. Again, anyone who's interested on the technical side of this, feeding into a program called vMix, and inside there, the audio delay occurs. So here's an example of how much delay there is and the complexities of live streaming. Have a listen to this. I'm going to karaoke over the top of this so that you can hear the difference. Let's go. When you got to get it out. So you will have probably heard a difference in when... So in my headphones, the audio that I heard, I sang that line on time over the top of the song. However, I'm absolutely sure there's about a 1.2 second delay or somewhere around there. It's the feed distribution that I'm still trying to work out. So we'll get to that over time. But I want you to know that we're going to do this. We're going to keep evolving things the entire time. Can you remember back in the day doing the old show with... hang on. We had little effects like this with the low poly background, green screening it. We might do that again. Oh, and the Tomorrow Show is probably appearing in a few different places on this broadcast. Incorrectly, I might add. The logo set to YouTube takes a little bit of time to update. So, you know, all of this it's an evolution. It's an evolution is what's happening. Yeah, send me a message. Let me know if you've got ideas of what we should do. I'm now going to be streaming from Robot Time Machine, going out to my Facebook page linked. In time, one of the things that I'm actually going to be conscious of, and I'm going to make a note of this because I've realized I've done this way too many times so far, is say the word And the reason that's happening is there is a lot of control going on here, pushing buttons. My intention is to reduce the amount of buttons I need to push to still put on a show and still explain all the things. So I'm going to put up a post-it note with just the word written on it, and at least if I just have that there, it'll just take me a few episodes to lose that while I'm pushing buttons, because at least I'll look at the screen. There we go. Bitcoin, what are you doing? What have you been up to? What is going on with this? So, an interesting thing about trying to discuss Bitcoin in a podcast is the price is going to have evolved. So to put context to this, it's Monday, June 10th, 5:30 p.m. The coin's price, BTC, is sitting at $7,941. That's $7,941. Over the years, we've seen such increase, decrease, so much fear, so much nonsense out there for this magic internet money, because that's what it is. It's magic internet money. But at the moment, what these sticks that I've got set here, these are at 1 hour sticks. So there was an absolute boost just here just there. There was a giant increase. How can I bring this up in a larger... I'm trying to think. Let's bring this up in a larger way. There we go. Oh, here we are. Here we are. This is how we'll do it. I'll put myself in the bottom right-hand corner. So the large tick that we see there is... How can I see this? Still setting this up. That is an enormous one going back just a couple of hours. Huge delta there. An absolute huge delta. I mean, if we're looking at that screen, it's almost like a 7% increase. Whoa, no, actually, it went from 7,600 to 7,900. That's enormous. Who knows what's going to happen? That's ultimately my opinion. Who knows what's going to happen? That's ultimately my opinion. There you go. That's all anyone should ever say regarding Bitcoin pricing at the moment. Who knows what it's going to do? That's my opinion. Yeah, it's just out of control. It's absolutely out of control. It always is. So that delta that you see in that candlestick was a 3.47 change over the course of an hour. Big change, big change. Let's take it back on a weekly stick though. No, I'm not going to be able to. No, I'm going to have to work out how to display this in a better way. But yeah, Bitcoin, go get some. I mean, it's not the end of Bitcoin completely. It's not like it's disappearing. Here's what's happened over the course of this year, though. We've been sitting around 3,000, between 3.9 and 3.2 was where it was for a really long period of time this year. Just sat there and it hovered and it bounced and it bounced and it bounced. And I mean, that's like a 20% delta that you could get. Over the space of a few months, we've now seen it go from 3 to 9. And it wasn't like it slowly happened. That jump happened over the course of a week, basically. It was huge. It was uncharted territory. It was uncalled for. It was silly, but it occurred. And that's what it does. That's what it constantly does. Check out some of the fun coins. We made a live stream token a few years ago, actually. It was... The intention of that coin was to use it as like a live stream token that you could distribute to people for watching shows. And so if you watched this live, we would send you 1 million tokens. That actually happened. That was a thing. I'm thinking we might bring that back. That was really, really fun. Yeah, I'm going to go and find that token. We might have a look at whether we can start distributing that again. The token sits on the Ethereum network. We produced 88 billion of them, of course, for 88 miles per hour. So we made 88 billion live stream tokens. They're still sitting there. I'm sure they're not only are they still around, they're not going anywhere ever. Let's see, live stream tokens. It'll be quite hard to just naturally find them because we never... Hang on, live stream token. This is that... Wow, it actually wasn't that hard to find them. On Etherscan, yeah, 88 billion. There's no market cap on them because we never put them on a market. However, let's start doing it. If you want live stream tokens and you have an Ethereum wallet, let me know. I still hold the wallet to them. I'll distribute you 1 million live stream tokens. For every show that you watch live, I'll put out 1 million tokens into your Ethereum wallet. We'll bring them back. We'll bring back live stream tokens. Where did they go? They didn't go anywhere. They've been there the entire time. They're still there. Yeah, here we go. We can see, wow, 711 days ago was when we were doing it. Let's see when this first one for 1 million. The first distribution was June 29, 2017. 2017 we were distributing them. That's crazy. That's awesome. Let me tell you about I love it in podcasts when they do a break for a promo. I'm doing a promo now, but it's for a promo that I actually make. This bag is the coolest bag that you'll ever see. It has an LED display on it, and it's called Meme Bag, and you can upload your own GIFs and JPEGs and literally wear memes on your backpack. So, if you're listening, imagine a backpack, put an LED display on it. It's a 64 by 64 RGB display, and you can put any images you want into it. The GIFs that I'm running here at the moment range from everything from David Hasselhoff through to Futurama, Give Me My Money, just loops of Mario Brothers. This bag is the coolest thing in the world. You can check it out at memebag.co. That's MEME.co. Memebag.co. Jump on Amazon, grab one there. I'm going to do a promo price, $119. They're normally $149. They're normally $149, but we'll do them $119 for podcast listeners. Use the coupon code PODCAST or Robot Time Machine or RTM. Use any three of those and you'll get it for $119. Check out Amazon. That promo code you'll probably have to use on the Meme Bag website. I don't have a coupon code set up on Amazon. So right now, maybe in the future we'll set it up on Amazon as well. But right now, memebag.co, $119 for the greatest backpack in the world. How do you update it? How do you put things into the backpack? Through Wi-Fi. It comes with an app. So you use your app, you connect your bag to the app, and then you upload GIFs and JPEGs to it. So I manufacture these out in Shenzhen. This isn't a paid promotion that I'm getting paid for to do. It's a promotion of a product that I literally make myself. Here's an image of the product. You can see rolling at the moment on screen is the promo from the website. It's the bag scrolling through all different types of images. You've got GIFs. You've got there's a chick cutting shapes on the floor, just dancing like a maniac, looping GIFs. You can upload anything you want to it. It's normally $149. Get it $119. I make them. That's why I'm promoting it. I make these. They're great fun. Check them out. We started selling them actually January 1st. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about how these things came to be. I'm going to try doing a little promo cut here. There we go. So I started making these and started selling them January 1st at midnight, because that was when California law changed. A very specific law changed January 1st, midnight 2019. And it was the street vending law. It's a law that up until January 1st, 2019, it was punishable to sell things on the street, be it merchandise. You had to have a permit, basically. This law was changed pretty much to help solve an issue, which was a lot of people make revenue and make a living through selling things on the street, mainly hot dogs, bottles of water, Coke, like a lot. So the law was changed, but it also allowed you to sell merchandise. And so I went out and we stood out the front of an EDM rave called Countdown, and was selling bags. We didn't sell that many bags that night because I realized what we actually need to be selling is tracksuit pants, because it was freezing and everyone coming out of Countdown had been boogieing all night in next to nothing. like just bikinis basically, but it's January in the desert and they were freezing. I should have sold tracksuit pants. I think I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to sell tracksuit pants at parties in the winter. You make a killing. Do it like $15. $15 for a tracksuit pant. But anyway, that bag, memebag.co, 119. Use promo code podcast RTM or Robot Time Machine, which RTM stands for Robot Time Machine. And I've just remembered I need to put hashtags up on this promo, on the in the video. I need to make some new titles. One of the great things about going live, more than just recording, so recording video is one thing, and you feel not as much pressure because you can always edit things. Going live and knowing that there's only one chance to do it is completely different. You can't pause. A second of dead air in my mind feels like 200 hours of silence. So anytime that I hear silence from me not talking, I fear. And it actually reminds me of a thing where at radio stations, I think it's called a dead man switch or something like that. There's a thing that occurs inside a radio station, and even if it is called a dead man switch, then that's awesome. I think it kind of is. It fits perfectly for what it is. Dead man switch is where if the radio panel hears silence for more than 10 seconds, it assumes that the operator, like the voiceover, sort of the jockey, has passed out or has gone to the bathroom, and no one's on mic. It's dead air. And as a radio station, you can't have dead air. And so it just then kicks in with like promo videos. So it'd be kind of like if, for instance, I sat here and we had, 5 seconds of silence. 4, 3. That's pretty much what a dead man switch would do. All of a sudden, you'd have just like, hey, welcome to the Edge, 29.9 FM. 29.9 is not a radio frequency. 102.7 could be a frequency. I wanted 29.9. Wonder what? Oh, I was trying to think of why I was thinking of the number 29.9 or 29.7. I couldn't work out why that number popped in my head. It's the rate of video. So you either have like 30p, 60p, 50p, or you can have a frame rate of 29.7. Which goes back to like the old broadcasting days and matching up between old analog video and new digital. Anyway, we're getting ridiculously technical about things that we do not need to talk about. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, this Maker Faire, they're now up to 1520. Check out GoFundMe. It's called Let's Save Maker Faire. They're up $1,500. It's great. It's absolutely great. They got 19 people. Heaps of things going on. Heaps of things happening in the maker community. Hopefully a solution gets solved there. Some of the promo codes that I'm thinking, or some of the hashtags that I'm thinking about using here are things like RTM, Robot Time Machine. If you think of a hashtag, please just post it up on Instagram, tag me in it, send me a message. I'm at Grey Bright on Instagram. I've now created Robot Time Machine on Instagram as well. I'm going to use that to push episodes, updates, and so on. I'm not ultimately sure because clearly I'm managing this entire process by myself. There is no producers. There's no social media team. I'm going to cut this, and there's that. I've got to become more conscious of that during live streams. Live streams are really interesting. You're pushing so many buttons, queuing things, sending things around. All of a sudden you're like, oh, how did that appear? Doing stuff like that. Color bars. Color bars are all of a sudden like, oh, color bars. How are they appearing there? So this is a very visual show. It's a very visual show. We're going out in podcasts. I was thinking about whether to include it as a video podcast on iTunes. I'm not sure whether that's the right thing to do. If you listen to video podcasts through iTunes, let me know. I'm interested to see what the quality of them is like, what the... I'm getting a notification from my streaming that potentially something's going wrong with the live stream on Facebook. How do I get information about this? Let's see. No, I think we're all good. Let me check the status. I have very articulate, like the status of live streaming when you look at the technical log files is out of control. I have a log file here that's scrolling through saying I'm doing a scan that's telling me each individual frame, the frame per second it's going out at, it's pushing 31. It's doing about what looks... Oh, okay. So over the course of about a minute, you do about 30 seconds, you do about 10 megabytes of streaming. We are streaming at 3,600 kilobits per second. Yeah. Again, really cool technical stuff. Not sure how technical we'll get in these shows. Sometimes we will get crazy technical when we build some robots, make some circuits. We're going to do things like that. Also going to take this out on the desk as well. Work out how to set up a rig so that we can stream. The reason I don't film much anymore on the desk is the noise of the desk. I haven't found a way to move and not have the clackety clack 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 of the desk. I'll give you an example. Here's that video that we had before. Have a listen to the audio here. It's not the best. Here, 245, this one. Now that has speakers on the front of the desk, really loud speakers, and that was just going into an iPhone. If I take this microphone and this camera that we're using at the moment that has great depth of field, then we probably will, we clearly will get better quality. However, streaming that out is not possible because otherwise you're going to have to take the computer, you're going to have to take the entire setup. It's just not really possible. So always have to do outside broadcast live streams from an iPhone, but the quality that you get isn't that good. So maybe a solution is the spring-loaded mic arms, like the microphone arms, or a desk lamp. That's probably an easy way to describe it. The desk lamp type setup, you're going to attach a camera to it or the iPhone and then put in wired microphones into the actual iPhone itself. Should give good quality. I think maybe. We'll see. We'll see whether it does. You may have noticed when I pulled over the lamp here, there's a camera attached to the lamp. We will be able to, in time, to do things like this, where I have if I want to do close-ups of building a circuit or something. At the moment, you can see my notes. You can see these notes, what is actually written on the notes on my little screen. What have I got here? Maker Faire, we spoke about that. Oculus, why can't I feel my legs? Oh, we spoke about why I can't feel my legs. And an update is, I still can't feel my legs. They are so painful. I woke up this morning, my chest felt like it was falling in on myself. My kneecaps. Oh my goodness. It's not because I'm getting old. I know a lot of people say, oh, you're getting old. No, it's because I tore the floor apart so much. I honestly, I got there at 10:30 at night and I started dancing once I got in there. Well, actually, I got there at 10:20. I walked around for about 10 minutes. Then I started boogieing at about 10:30, 10:40, and I stopped at 2 a.m. when I got kicked out by security. And I boogied the entire time. I was very happy. And then I went and got pho. I went and had some soupy, delicious pho, because one of the only places in LA that's open till like 4 a.m. to get good quality food is a pho restaurant called Pho Shop in Culver, near Culver City. For anyone playing at home, it's on the east side of the 405. It's delicious. So I went there with Kyle. Kyle was in the city. She then came, met me at Catch One. Then we went and had fun. Amazing, great fun, really good fun. Well, as we come to the end of this episode, I'm learning about things that we can do, stream locations. Episode 3 is going to have some tighter edits, some segments that I've been building. We're going to introduce some new segments to see how they go. Some other things that I'm thinking about are how to set I'll give you the idea. If you imagine kind of on the left-hand side of the screen a list of segments that are coming up and when we'll be doing them, almost like a time countdown. Thinking about putting those in so that we have a formal process. I think it'll help. One thing it'll do, it'll help me get in a flow, which will be good. Because otherwise, if you ever watch the Wednesday shows, you can remember we used to get distracted quite a bit. The intention would be to build a robot during an episode, and then halfway through, I'd pull apart a vacuum cleaner, and we'd discuss how microwaves work for 30 minutes. That was how that show used to go. But going to bring back the green screens, going to bring back all the things. And it's not like all of it's gone. I mean, our friend Phil, he's still around. Phil's still around. Who else we got? Little girl. Hold on, little girl. Oh, and now you will have realized again the time delay there. But remember, always have to make commentary about these videos because we're not playing them because otherwise we'll get copyright. We're making comments on them. Look at the quality of that video. Such an awesome... Oh, look at the perm. Love it. What an incredible perm. Yeah. Look at this. This is Mars. It's not really Mars, but imagine if it was Mars. Just so nice. I want to go to Mars. I'm absolutely desperate to go to Mars. I think it'd be amazing. Actually, a lot of people... I speak to a lot of people who say that they don't want to go to Mars. They're like, Mars, it ain't for me. I don't particularly want to go to Mars. It's not where I want to head to. Turning that volume down. How'd that go? Yeah, good. I want to go to Mars. I want to see Mars. I want to be there. I want to see it. I think it would be wild. Look at it. I mean, this is a bit of a mix of CGI and some real video pieced together from imagery, some shots taken of probes and vehicles that went around. I believe, actually, I'm pretty sure that's where they got this content from. Or am I? I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was a mix though. It's simply stunning. Imagine getting to Mars, being like, "Yo, I'm on Mars. What are we gonna do? We'll do anything because we're on another planet. We can do anything on another planet. There's no rules. There's no, oh, well, you're on Mars, now you have to do this. No, you can do what you want. You're on Mars. If you want to just hang out and kick about on Mars, or if you want to sort of set up a shop on Mars. Anyway, it's enough of that. It's enough of that. It's enough of that craziness. I got all these buttons on my little display that I cannot remember what they actually did. The way that I cue this show is through a panel which I've made. It's like a, I don't want to pull it too much, otherwise I might pull it out. Oh, do you know how? If we throw to this camera, if we do that cheeky little camera throw again, you'll be able to see, of course, you'll be able to see it. Here we go. There we are. So this is the control panel that I use to cue the show. Right now we can see we're on here. If I cut across, whoop, gone. So I'll bring that one back. These buttons down here are overlays to get rid of that one. This will go the bottom right-hand corner. This one will go top left-hand corner. This is going to cue the show, which I won't do right now. We can bring up, if I push this button just here, it's going to go back to the Maker Faire one. Bang! We'll go back there. Yeah, that's how that's all done. These levels, I'm going to introduce new sliding new slide effects so that I can change the audio of some of the tracks. Because sometimes you put a track in and it's way louder than it was supposed to be during my pre-production. Do you know what pre-production involves? Me sitting here just hitting random buttons going, yeah, that sounds okay. That looks like the button's in the right spot. This is the equivalent of the 2019 version of Wayne's World. That's what it is. It's just, we're here for fun. We're here for fun. We're here for the good times. Are you here for the good times? I'm here for the good times. I hope you're here for the good times. This has been an episode of Robot Time Machine. Episode 2. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad. I hope you can stick around for episode 3. Jump on to YouTube, Robot Time Machine, in order to see it. Facebook, I'll be streaming to the Robot Time Machine Facebook page and then reposting it through my personal page. But please go hit like on Robot Time Machine's page. Need to build that up. Need to get some numbers inside there. Make sure to hit those notifications. This will be now going out on iTunes as well. We're going to start using Podbean to push it through there. I think the only thing left is to cut to an outro. Oh, before we go, do remember, make sure to go and get your own meme bag. Yeah, these meme bags they're normally $149, but we're gonna do them for $140. We're gonna do them for $119. I'm gonna go and put the promo codes of Pod, RTM, and Robot Time Machine as the promo codes. So go, you'll get them for $119. Check it out, memebag.co. That's right. This was the second episode of Robot Time Machine. The show will evolve. The show's going to change over time. Every episode, it's going to evolve. I hope you can evolve with me. This has been Robot Time Machine. My name is Grey Bright. I hope to see you again soon. Keep building Time Machine, folks. Keep doing it. I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.